I feel like every time I say something in a conversation,
Mm-hmm.
not every time, but a lot of times, it comes off as possibly being offensive to someone or somebody or some group of people or whatever. And even though, I don't intend it that way, maybe because of my voice and the lack of enthusiasm I have. And so I think it's a very fitting name for a podcast like this, because we will be saying a lot of shit that is questionable,
We are, and
but not offensive.
right. But you know what? Everything offends everybody these days, man. Holy shit. It's like, all right, I was hanging out at a bar, right? And I was with some friends. And I'm a moderate. You're a moderate, but you weren't there. I had a buddy of mine that was moderate, and then I was hanging out with some liberals, right?
Why don't you call me, bro? And like,
Yeah, it was you weren't around. The point is that we were having a conversation, and we somehow started talking about gay people, right? So I was saying like, yo, I support gay rights, and they should have the right to get married, and they have the right to be happy, right? So the girl who isn't gay, by the way, right? She got offended at that and said, "Oh, you shouldn't say that." I'm like, "What the fuck did I just say?" Because I'm thinking, did I see some prejudice shit by accident? Like,
yeah,
what the fuck did I just say? And then she's like, "Oh, it's like I know you mean well, but it's the way you said it."
that's like
I'm
Nazi
like,
police right
"What
there.
the fuck are you talking about?" I was talking English. And because I said the they, and it sounds derogatory. I'm like, but that's English.
Are you serious, bro?
So I had to spend 2 fucking minutes rewording my sentence. And then I realized, like, am I nuts? So then when I left with my moderate buddy, I said, hey, listen, did I say anything wrong? He's like, nah, bro, you didn't say anything wrong. We're just living in some fucking weird ass times. I'm like,
Moderate
shit,
buddy.
man, I meant well. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, that's why comedy is like the only thing we have left, and people are
Yeah.
trying to destroy that shit. Like, shout out to Larry David, shout out to, Dave Chappelle, because they always push those boundaries. And shout out to all comedians, because they all do that,
And there's only, I feel like there's only a few guys that could get away with that.
Yeah,
Like Larry
absolutely.
David and Dave Chappelle. Both
Yeah.
guys are named Dave.
Yeah, I mean,
kind of.
whatever. Sometimes I make videos on YouTube, let's say, whether it's a sketch or a video blog, and a lot of it is satire, right? Oh, and people like get at me all the time, and it's like, dude, it's a fucking joke. Relax. It's comedy.
It's like that time Jay-Z said something about like he's in the song or something, he mentioned Jews, right?
Okay.
And people, like some Jewish people, said, "Oh, that's blah blah blah." Whatever.
Yo, Jay-Z, what the fuck, man? That's right.
And I was like, honestly, I forgot what it was, but it was like something about like something with Jews and money,
Yo,
which
Jay-Z,
I was like, whatever.
don't worry about it, bro. You're all good. I remember 50 Cent said something about that, like Jew unit, when it had to do with like his lawyers or something, and people were like, "Yo, that's fucked up. You can't say that." I'm like, dude, oh God, who gives it? Yo, I work in a jewelry store. Well, not anymore, right? Because of the COVID-19. But check this out. So I'm working at the jewelry store a few years ago. It was Christmas time. This Italian guy comes in, and I'm not talking about an Italian from like Staten Island. I'm talking about an Italian guy from Italy.
Like, hey,
No, he's
Italiano.
like, yeah, he's Italiano,
Yeah,
he's from Italy.
He's like, hey,
Right. So he comes in and he says, hey, with his accent, he was visiting. I saw some bracelets in the window. Can I check it out? So I showed it to him and everything like that. And then he's like, what's the price? I said, this is the price, And then he says, can you do better? I said, okay, if you're paying, how are you paying? Like, are you paying cash? Are you paying credit card? What are you doing? Because with credit cards, they charge extra percentage. So maybe I could give you a better deal if you pay cash instead. I don't know. I forgot how it went down exactly. So anyway, I gave him a discount, especially like he wanted to buy it for his wife. It was Christmas time. I think he still paid a credit card, but I still gave him a discount. The point is, he says to me, can you do better? I'm like, look, man, I did the best I could. And then he says, are you Jewish? Out of nowhere. And I'm thinking, how the fuck did he know? Like, do I have Jew written on my face? Do I have Jew written on my face?
you look like a Jew.
I do? I look like a Jew?
Yeah.
All right, whatever. Either way, I lost my train of thought. So either way, he's like, are you Jewish? I'm like, yeah. And then he's like, in my country, Jews love to save money. Now,
There's still a lot of Jews in Italy. Or there's probably like 5.
I wasn't aware of that. So anyway, I'm like, okay. And then he says, I want to be like a Jewish, and I also want to save money. I'm like, well, look, man, I get it. I really give you the best price that I could. So he ended up buying
You
it.
should be like, I don't give a fuck what you want. You want to buy this shit or
but
not?
The point is, I could have been one of those, what the fuck did you just say? Are you out of your mind? You're offending me? All that bullshit. Oh, man. I went through some racist shit. There was like this subtle racist moment. It was hilarious. I was in the 99-cent store buying water. And I swear I was a penny short, right? So I was like really looking for that penny. And then the guy's like this. If you find penny on floor, hey, don't pick up and be like a Jewish. And he didn't know I was Jewish, right?
Wow, that
Obviously.
motherfucker.
So I was like this. Actually, I am Jewish. He's like, oh, have a nice day. And I left without giving him the penny. Oh, I think I still gave him the penny. Actually.
Did you pick it up?
There was no pennies on the floor.
I would never pick up the smallest coin. I'll pick up off the floor if it's like a semi-clean floor or quarters.
Yo, you know what's hilarious though? All these stereotypes, man. Like Jews are cheap. You know how many fucking people I met that weren't Jews and they were cheap as fuck?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
And listen, man, some stereotypes about Jews are true, and some stereotypes about a lot of other people are true, and they're not necessarily bad stereotypes. They're just behaviors of how human people behave.
You know who has good stereotypes? Asian people, because they're good at math, right? And people are like, yo, that's offensive. What, just because I'm Asian, I'm good at math? But that's like a positive freaking stereotype.
Yeah.
Like all these other stereotypes are so bad. Like Russians and Irish people are always drunk. Women can't drive or they're not funny. And, we had a sociology class and it got so fucking awkward because our exercise was to call out. We were supposed to write down all these stereotypes of all these different races and nationalities. And the teacher was a black guy who was gay. And he's like, don't worry. Just do it. And everybody's like, okay.
Wait, this was in college?
This was in college.
Oh, I know which guy you're talking about.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
May he rest in peace. Yeah. Shout out to Earl Teasley. Love him. He was my guidance counselor / teacher. Dude. He was an amazing guy. Anyway, so everybody was so uncomfortable. And then I remember there was like a fight between a Muslim guy and a black chick because they both called out each other's, whatever. Oh, man, that class was intense. But, sociology classes are actually very important for people. You have to understand the way different cultures work and the way things are,
I wish I majored in that shit in college.
No, I wouldn't major in sociology. I took 2 sociology classes enough, honestly. They were like pretty much the same.
What's the difference between sociology and psychology?
Sociology is more like, different cultures. Psychology is about like the psyche of the mind. It's a completely different class, dude.
Sociology is about culture?
I mean, from what I understand, I don't
know, honestly.
I think it was the psychology, of a different kinds of people.
That makes sense. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, and I guess not just race or culture, maybe also... I remember one of my professors, she showed us a movie with Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd, and it was about to do the difference between classes, social
wealth classes?
Social wealth classes, yes.
Something like that.
Something like that. You get the point.